Rain poured mercilessly over the streets of Chicago, washing away footprints, but not the tears of a small girl huddled against a storefront. Her blonde pigtails were soaked, her pink raincoat doing little to shield her from the downpour. Sobs escaped her tiny frame as she clutched her knee where blood mixed with rainwater, creating a pink stream down her leg. Hurried pedestrians rushed past, umbrellas tilted against the wind, eyes averted from the crying child. In Chicago's Gold Coast neighborhood, even a distressed child became just another inconvenience to navigate around. But for Marcus, the sound of her crying cut through the drumming rain like a knife. Despite the gnawing hunger that had been his companion for 3 days, despite the dampness of his only set of clothes, he couldn't ignore her pain. "Hey there, little one," Marcus said gently, kneeling down beside her. His deep voice was surprisingly soft as he crouched to her level. "That looks like it hurts. May I take a look?" The girl's sobs quieted as she studied the tall man before her. His clothes were worn but clean, his face weathered but kind. Most striking were his eyes, warm amber pools that radiated a gentleness that contradicted his rough appearance. 20 feet away, Olivia Westbrook stood frozen under the awning of an exclusive boutique, her hand instinctively clutching her $7,000 Hermes handbag. Her daughter had run ahead despite her warnings, and now a homeless man was approaching her. Every instinct told her to rush forward, but something held her back. With practiced care, Marcus pulled a surprisingly clean handkerchief from his pocket, a small square of white fabric with blue embroidered edges, his most prized possession besides the clothes on his back. He gently dabbed at the girl's knee, his dark fingers contrasting with her pale skin. "What's your name, brave girl?" he asked, carefully cleaning the scrape. "Lily," she replied, her tears subsiding. "I was chasing the raindrops and I fell." Marcus smiled, revealing unexpectedly perfect teeth. "Well, Lily, I'm Marcus. And you know what? Raindrops are tricky things to catch. They're always in a hurry to reach the ground." Olivia remained motionless, watching the interaction with growing confusion. The tenderness in the man's movements, the careful way he tended to Lily's knee, contradicted everything she'd been conditioned to expect. "There we go," Marcus said, tying the handkerchief around Lily's knee. "A special bandage for a special girl." "But now your hanky is all bloody," Lily observed, with a child's directness. Marcus shrugged. Some things are worth sacrificing for others. That's when Lily asked the question that made Olivia's heart clench. "Why are your clothes so dirty? And why do you look so hungry?" The silence that followed felt eternal. Olivia prepared to step forward, embarrassment and shame washing over her, but Marcus's response stopped her cold. "Because life gives different challenges to different people, little one," he said, without self-pity. "I lost my home and my job, but I never lost my humanity. That's something no one can take from you unless you let them." The words struck Olivia like lightning. Just 2 weeks ago at a charity gala, she had dismissed a proposal to fund a homeless shelter in downtown Chicago, arguing that these people need to take responsibility for their choices. Now she watched as a man who clearly had nothing shared his only clean possession with her daughter. Marcus's stomach growled audibly, causing Lily to giggle. "Your tummy sounds angry." He laughed, a rich sound that seemed to brighten the rainy day. "It's just reminding me it's there." What Olivia couldn't know was that Marcus had traded his meal voucher from the shelter for that clean handkerchief after hearing about an infection spreading among Chicago's homeless population. He couldn't bear the thought of someone getting sick because they couldn't clean a wound. "Mommy!" Lily suddenly spotted Olivia and ran toward her, the pain in her knee forgotten. "This nice man helped me. His name is Marcus, and his tummy is growling." Olivia stepped forward, her designer heels clicking on the wet pavement. Up close, she could see that beneath the worn clothes and unshaven face, Marcus was younger than she'd first thought, perhaps in his early 30s, about her age. His eyes met hers with dignity, not shame. "Thank you," she said, the words feeling inadequate, "for helping my daughter." Marcus was already backing away, accustomed to the discomfort his presence caused among the wealthy. Anyone would have done the same, he said, though they both knew that wasn't true. No one else had stopped. "Wait," Olivia called, but he had already disappeared into the crowd, a shadow among the hurried masses. That night, as thunder rattled the windows of her penthouse apartment, Olivia couldn't shake the image of Marcus's gentle hands tending to Lily's wound. While her daughter slept peacefully, clutching the blue-edged handkerchief she had insisted on keeping, Olivia made a decision that would alter the course of multiple lives. What she didn't know was that Marcus Jefferson had once been Dr. Marcus Jefferson, a promising pediatrician whose life had unraveled after a malpractice suit. Though later proven innocent, the legal fees had bankrupted him, and the damage to his reputation had made finding work impossible. The medical board had eventually cleared his name, but by then he had lost everything: his apartment, his savings, and finally, his medical license had expired while he fought to survive on the streets. 3 days after their encounter, Marcus found himself being approached by a woman at the community center where he occasionally volunteered, helping children with homework despite his own circumstances. "Mr. Jefferson?" The woman was professionally dressed with a tablet in hand. "My name is Rebecca Chen. I represent the Westbrook Foundation. Mrs. Westbrook would like to speak with you regarding a potential opportunity." Marcus looked up from the math problem he was helping a young boy solve. "I think you have the wrong person." 6'2", scar on right forearm, blue-edged handkerchief, Rebecca listed. "You helped a little girl named Lily 3 days ago." His eyes narrowed. "How did you find me?" Rebecca's expression softened. "Mrs. Westbrook is resourceful and determined. The foundation is launching a new health initiative for underserved communities. She believes you might be valuable to the program." Skepticism was written across Marcus's face. He had learned the hard way that when something seemed too good to be true, it usually was. "Why me?" "That's a question she'd like to answer herself," Rebecca replied, handing him a business card. "Tomorrow, 10 a.m., transportation will be provided." The next morning, freshly showered at a public facility and wearing his cleanest clothes, Marcus found himself in the gleaming lobby of Westbrook Tower, feeling conspicuously out of place among the marble and glass. Olivia Westbrook's office occupied the entire top floor, with views spanning the Chicago skyline. When Marcus entered, she was standing by the window, her silhouette framed against the city below. When she turned, he recognized her immediately, the woman from the rainy day, Lily's mother. "Dr. Jefferson," she said, extending her hand. "Thank you for coming." His surprise must have shown on his face. "Yes, I know who you are," she continued, "or rather, who you were. Your case caught my attention. It was unjust what happened to you." Marcus remained silent, wary of where this conversation was heading. "I'll be direct," Olivia said, gesturing for him to sit. "The Westbrook Foundation is establishing a mobile clinic program for homeless and underhoused individuals. We need someone who understands both medicine and the realities of life on the streets. Someone with compassion and expertise." "My medical license expired 2 years ago," Marcus stated flatly. "We're aware. The foundation is prepared to cover the costs of reinstatement, including any required continuing education." Marcus leaned forward. "Why? You don't know me." Olivia's professional demeanor slipped slightly. "I know you gave your meal to get a clean handkerchief for wound care. I know you volunteer teaching children despite having nothing yourself. And I know you treated my daughter with more kindness than most people in my social circle would have shown." She paused, then added more softly, "Lily hasn't stopped talking about you. The rain angel, she calls you." For the first time in years, Marcus felt a flicker of hope, quickly followed by suspicion. "Is this charity because I don't?" "This is business," Olivia interrupted firmly. "The foundation needs someone with your qualifications and perspective. Your compensation would be competitive. Your history makes you uniquely qualified, not disqualified." What neither of them acknowledged in that moment was the undeniable current that had passed between them, a recognition of something familiar in the other, despite their vastly different circumstances. In the weeks that followed, as Marcus began the process of recertification, working closely with the foundation team, that current grew stronger. Olivia found herself creating reasons to attend meetings where he would be present. Marcus found himself standing a little straighter, speaking with more of the confidence that had once defined him. The mobile clinic program took shape under his guidance, informed by his first-hand knowledge of what the homeless community truly needed. His suggestions were practical, born from experience rather than theory, and Olivia found herself increasingly impressed by his intelligence and insight. Lily was delighted when she discovered that her rain angel was working with her mother. During a visit to the foundation offices, she ran to him without hesitation, showing him her fully healed knee. "Look, no more owie," she declared proudly. "That's wonderful," Marcus replied, kneeling to her level, just as he had that rainy day. "You must have super healing powers." "Mommy says it's because of your magic hanky," Lily confided. She washed it and put it in a special frame in her room. Olivia, overhearing this revelation, felt her cheeks warm. It was true. She had preserved the simple handkerchief as a reminder of the moment that had changed her perspective so profoundly. The gossip column soon took notice of Olivia Westbrook's frequent appearances with the handsome new doctor heading her foundation's most ambitious project. Speculation ran wild. Was Chicago's most eligible widow finally moving on after the tragic death of her husband 4 years earlier? What the columns didn't report was how Olivia and Marcus would work late into the night, sharing takeout food and stories from their vastly different lives. How she found herself laughing more than she had in years. How he began to see a future beyond survival for the first time since his downfall. 6 months after their rainy day encounter, the first Westbrook Mobile Health Unit was ready to launch. At the ribbon-cutting ceremony, Olivia stood beside Marcus, watching with pride as he addressed the gathered press and dignitaries. "Healthcare isn't a privilege, it's a right," he stated firmly. And sometimes, the difference between despair and hope is as simple as someone stopping to help when everyone else walks by. His eyes met Olivia's across the crowd, and in that moment, something shifted between them, acknowledgement of feelings that had grown beyond professional admiration or gratitude. Later that evening, at the celebration gala, Olivia found Marcus alone on the balcony, looking out at the same streets where he had once sought shelter. "Penny for your thoughts, doctor?" she asked, joining him at the railing. "Just thinking about how life can change in an instant," he replied. "One moment, you're at the bottom, the next, you're still the same person." Olivia said softly, "That's what I've come to realize. The man who stopped to help Lily in the rain is the same man standing here now. Circumstances change, but character doesn't." Marcus turned to face her. "And the woman who was afraid to approach a homeless man is now changing the healthcare system for people like him. We've both transformed." "Perhaps we just needed to see each other clearly," Olivia suggested, her voice barely above a whisper. The kiss that followed wasn't planned, but it felt inevitable. The natural conclusion to a journey that had begun with a child's tears and a simple act of kindness. 1 year later, Chicago's social pages exploded with the news. Billionaire philanthropist Olivia Westbrook had married Dr. Marcus Jefferson in an intimate ceremony where 6-year-old Lily served as flower girl. The bride wore a simple ivory gown with something blue tucked into her bouquet, a framed handkerchief with blue embroidered edges. The Westbrook-Jefferson Mobile Health Initiative expanded to 12 cities across the country, becoming a model for community-based healthcare delivery. Marcus, fully reinstated as a physician, divided his time between treating patients and directing the program's growth. Olivia transformed the Westbrook Foundation's focus, prioritizing initiatives that address systemic inequalities rather than simply treating symptoms. Together, they created pathways for medical professionals who had faced setbacks to rebuild their careers while serving communities in need. In their home, the framed handkerchief held a place of honor, a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things we possess aren't measured in dollars, but in the capacity to show kindness when it's least expected. And on rainy days, Lily would often ask to hear the story again, how her mother and father found each other because she chased raindrops and fell on a wet sidewalk. "The best things often come disguised as accidents," Marcus would tell her, with Olivia's hand clasped in his. "The trick is recognizing them when they happen." What began as a chance encounter in the rain had become a powerful testament to the fact that true worth isn't determined by what you own, but by what you're willing to give when you have nothing left but your humanity. And as their family grew, with the addition of twin boys 2 years later, Marcus and Olivia made sure their children understood the lesson at the heart of their love story, that sometimes the most revolutionary act isn't to accumulate wealth or power, but to stop and help someone in need, because you never know how that simple moment of connection might transform both your worlds. If this story touched your heart and made you believe in the power of kindness and second chances, don't forget to subscribe for more stories that reveal how life's most beautiful journeys often begin with the smallest acts of humanity.